ShopGearNetwork.com.
This is a Gear Network production.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Gear Network presents the
Not Just
Football Talk Weekly Podcast with John Cimino and Brandon Gorell. And now, here's John.
I can't not think about what just happened off the air, which will be on the air at the very end of the podcast. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of the Not Just Football Talk Weekly Podcast. How's it going? I am your host, Kurt Schilling's favorite podcaster, Mr. John Cimino, at VJC Money on the Twitter, which has not been blocked yet by Garrig38, or whatever the hell his stupid Twitter handle is. And joining me here, Mr. Brandon Guerrero. Brandon, say what's up.
Hey, what's up, man?
We are sponsored by ShopGear.com. Hey, Schilling, you want to buy something to shut me up? Go to ShopGear.com to do it. You got the money, you dumbass.
He really doesn't, though.
No, he doesn't. You're right. You're right. He does not.
He's a fucking bum now.
Get off the street, you fucking bum!
He's siphoning gas out of hoses in back alleys.
And replying to pro wrestlers
With their
that are
flesh hoses.
podcasters.
Yeah.
But, yeah, imagine that. But we'll get into that a little bit later on.
Oh, Curtis.
First time in a couple of weeks, ladies and gentlemen, we are together here to talk sports and stuff. I swear to God, I thought that thing, I'm looking right there at your stove, and that dish towel you have there or whatever.
Yeah.
It says love to cook. It looked like it said love to cock. Or, I don't know, man.
That's the other side.
There you go. Oh, okay.
I keep it
Brandon, what's been going on with you, man? Talk to the podcasting people.
Oh,
let them know what it is.
What it is, again, just entrenched in the Stanley Cup playoffs. My Pittsburgh Penguins are now in a dogfight with the Nashville Predators.
Why?
Because, it's just how hockey goes sometimes, man. You know, Nashville had some stretches in games 1 and 2 where they kind of dominated and got hammered by Pittsburgh. And then Pittsburgh didn't play a great game 3. Game 4, they played a really solid game start to finish, and they got a little bit of karma. It looked like just bounces didn't go their way. They hit a few posts. Rene was playing out of his mind, and then, a couple bad bounces end up in the back of the net. James Neal gets a goal that was whacked out of midair to make it 3-1. That was just basically, sitting on the back of the net, and then all of a sudden the dude hits the net, flies up in the air right to James Neal standing there and puts it in, and then there's another play where Kunitz is trying to enter the zone and he hits Kessel's skate and it ends up being a breakaway the other way, and, Murray gets burned for another goal. So, that stuff happens, and, again, they always say you aren't in trouble until you lose a home game in a series. They head home, to play in Pittsburgh where they're 2-0. So if they continue the trend, they'll be 3-0, and then, we'll see what happens in Game 6 and probably Game 7. So I'm in for the gusto. I got a long grizzly beard. It's kind of gross. I get mocked daily at my daily stand-ups at work. I go on webcam because you sleep. You sleep, and then all of a sudden your beard's like one side is like shifted up on the side of your face, and you can't do much about it because I didn't want to shower before, when I get up. That's the advantage of working from home. You can shower after you hit the gym and, mid-afternoon, and you're good to go. So I just want to shave this thing.
On the days that I work from home, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Except I don't shower. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, well.
I shower.
You take the Latin shower?
No. Maybe.
A little cologne, a little deodorant.
It depends. But
a little water on the face.
You think all those Game 7s are starting to get to them or something? I mean, I don't know if it's tired or what.
Well, I mean, if you look at them, they're now playing their 218th game in the last, not even full 2 calendar years. It's a lot of hockey. It's a lot of beating, and it's a lot of the same characters from last year. Nashville's really quick. That's their big thing is their speed. Pittsburgh normally has speed, but again, that could be some wear and tear. They have had some injuries as well to deal with, but They won the first two games 5-3 and 4-1. And then, they lose basically the same way the next two games, except for score one goal. But there's just stuff's not going in. They're getting chances. They're just not getting in, like they were in other games. And, I don't know. I think they'll be fine. I don't think that they're panicking much. And they got a kind of an advantage because the last three games, there's 2 days off in between each game.
Okay.
So they're going to get to go balls to the wall next game, take twos off, and then go balls to the wall again and see what happens in Game 6. So I'm confident that they're going to hoist the cup at some point, whether it's in 6 or 7. San Jose took them 6.
They did.
So
I'm reminded with on this Facebook from last year on this day.
Yeah, I keep getting those too.
I said 5 games last year, and it turned out to be 6. I think I ended up saying this year I was going to go 5, and then we went to 2. I was like, fuck it, they're going 7.
Yeah, I picked Pens in 7 too. I'd like to do, especially now that they've lost those 2 road games. The only way they're going to win at home in front of their home fans is to win in Game 7. They've won every cup on the road, so the fans haven't been able to experience the cup come out with their team, the entire time of their franchise. So, we'll see.
All right.
But it's exciting. If people aren't watching, well, then you're missing out because it is a lot of fun and it's very competitive. The playoffs in the NHL are just, I think they're better playoffs than any other sport.
They absolutely are.
And it's by a long shot. It's not even close.
They're very enjoyable. They always have been and always will be. But let's go and talk about the sport that officially reigns as king right now. Football! And you will be happy to know that the CFL preseason began yesterday. Or not. I don't know. Yes, they did. They did begin yesterday. And they're also in 4K this year.
Oh.
CFL's going into 4K.
Why isn't the NFL?
I don't know, man.
This is really bothersome.
That's crazy, isn't it?
MLB's putting on a game of the week every week on 4K. NBA's been putting games in 4K. Notre Dame football is in 4K. There's talk that the NHL could do it next year, at least for the NBC games.
I would have never imagined
what's going on with the NFL.
That the CFL would have that technology over the NFL.
Yeah, well, Canada. Although it did take... Canada sometimes advances faster than America does anyways.
Yeah, but their football game has not.
No, but it's Canada.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy watching CFL for what it's worth. The different field is interesting, but I'm not one of these anti-NFL people that are like, CFL is a better product anyways. Like, if it was a better product, then they would have all the better players, and the NFL wouldn't be king. CFL would be, but, that's just me. But anyways, to the NFL, big news out of Kansas City, Brandon. Jeremy Maclin has been released from the Kansas City Chiefs. He met with the Buffalo Bills and left without a contract. Word has it, he's going to... White Adam Schefter said he was going to be meeting with the Baltimore Ravens. Jeremy Maclin, friend of LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
Does he wind up in Western New York?
I don't know, man. This new McDermott cat, I can't get a read on him. He's not a very boisterous, and he's not a guy that's, he kind of plays stuff close to the vest, so I'm not sure how it's going to go. I guess it's going to go to who decides to sign him first, because if Baltimore has interest and they say, hey, here's a contract, well, then he's probably going to go there because he wants to play, and you're getting to that time where you need to get in for OTAs, learn playbooks, get, acquainted with quarterbacks, and get a relationship going. You don't want to wait too long. So the fact that he left Buffalo without a contract offer makes me think that he's probably not going to get one, which means, it's up to Baltimore. And if Baltimore passes on him, then maybe Buffalo takes a second look. I don't know. But I think maybe the days that, players kind of run as GMs and run teams, there might be over in Buffalo. So
it seems like McDermott is definitely...
He's made an impression over there on the Legends, especially.
Yes. But, Rex Ryan made an impression on the Legends, too.
That
didn't really work out.
Not like McDermott did, though. Cornelius Bennett, who has seen probably 2 to 3 games since he retired in Buffalo, met with him and and spoke with him, and he really was buying in, and he wants to be around the organization more. He wants to be around and be a part of this. He sees someone who's looking to, he's looking to do stuff the right way, and raise these kids, as he put it, into, good men and then good football players. So, we'll see.
You know what? Hopefully it works out for them. As a Jets fan, I can't really, as a Rochesterian, I'm hope, if the Bills make the playoffs and this new regime works and they quote unquote trust the process as he has stated before, I'd be all right with it, but
Yeah, I'd be okay with it too, and then it'll finally give Bills fans something to not look so stupid about. Like, they claim they're going to do it every year, but yet they don't.
Super Bowl. Like,
They're
I can't
not
tell
gonna go
you
to the
how
Super
I can't
Bowl,
tell you
but
how many Bills teams in the past 17
it's
years.
like, slow your roll.
It's like
one step
why
at a
can't
time.
They? Why can't they? Yeah, well, why don't they?
Yeah. Well, they can also build a tower full of dillies in the middle of the logo on the center of the 50-yard line.
Which they should.
Which they could do, but why? They're not going to. Doesn't mean they're going to. So why even bring that stupidness up?
I don't know. Speaking of stupidness, Brandon.
Yes.
Colin Kaepernick's still not signed.
Oh, this is dumb.
ESPN shared an article saying that his career is, quote, likely over. This was a big this was a topic on the JC Money Show earlier this week, the Tuesday edition, and it was just after the news that Austin Davis was signed over
joke.
Colin Kaepernick to be the backup. And now I ask this, and I wanted to talk with you a little bit about this. I know what it's really about.
Yeah, we all
know what it's really about. But what I don't understand for the life of me is how these owners could justify, okay, they have given so many convicted felons another chance.
Right.
Big one is, for example, and I know that, we both said and agree on his situation and that he did the heist, he pays the price, but Michael Vick.
Right.
Michael Vick's a big one. He's got second, third, fourth chances, whatever.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy got a second chance.
Yeah.
Adam Pac-Man Jones got multiple chances.
Right.
Colin Kaepernick, all he did was exercise his First Amendment right.
Yeah.
And where I was originally disappointed with it at first, because at that time, he had not shown an inkling of interest in that, nor did he show an interest in donating or doing anything like that. And I said, flat out, on a podcast, that the minute Colin Kaepernick actually does that and puts his money where his mouth is, I'll believe that this is for something else other than, the diminishing team around him and the fact that he's going to be losing his job to Blaine Gabbert.
Right.
He's donated he pledged to donate $1 million. He's at $770,000 right now. Mm-hmm. $50,000 of it donated to Meals on Wheels, a program in which the wondrous Trump administration cut funds from.
They're going to cut.
Funds
That's in the budget. The budget hasn't passed. But yes, I get it. Like, people are being proactive. They're not going to take anything to chance. And
exactly.
That was a smart
But he's also donated, aside from that, to 23 other different
not to mention the suits thing, the suits for second chance that he started up, where they're basically buying suits to and giving interview skills to people who are just out of prison to kind of help them integrate back into the workforce and be able to, put on a presentable look, because a lot of them come out and they're living with their parents or living with a relative because they got nowhere to live, they got no clothes, they got nothing in their name anymore. They need some help, so he's doing that. He's going to schools and speaking, so it's not even just the dollars that he's donating, it's the time that he's putting in, and he is in the community and he's doing the work.
And what again, he wasn't, and he wasn't the only one.
Right.
The Antonio Cromarties of the world, they did it too. They knelt too.
He got canned though.
He got canned because of his diminished skills and the fact that his
He's not worth that.
His semen just don't stop a working. His semen works harder than he does.
Yeah, he's the NFL's Sean Kemp. He's the NFL's Travis Henry 2.0.
True. But I mean, at this point now, there's no denying.
Yeah, it's a political move.
That it's political.
I mean,
the owners.
Right.
The owners. Aside from the fact, like, if somebody did something to their, I don't know, their fibula or their tibula or something like that,
yeah,
maybe he might get a look at. Maybe he might wind up in the CFL.
Yeah,
but
here's what's frustrating to me about it.
It's irritating to me.
Here's what's frustrating about it. There's multiple facets to it. One, again, it once again proves that there is the old boys club. They're all billionaires. They all own their franchises. There ain't a black owner in the NFL. They're all white, all rich, and they all are worried about images because images equal dollars. And the first time some hillbilly posts online that he's not buying their jerseys anymore and then he gets, 200 other hillbillies to do the same thing, they're going to be worried about it, and they don't want to lose any money. So they're not going to hire him, and it's bullshit because the guy has skills. The guy is, 3 years removed from going to a Super Bowl, 4 years removed?
Almost winning it.
And almost winning it in a, ridiculous comeback. On top of that, he was, inches away from going to a second Super Bowl in a row? That pass just got a fingertip on it from Sherman. Mm-hmm. He doesn't get that fingertip on it. That's a touchdown, and that's game over, and Seattle doesn't even go on and win their Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And they probably do beat Denver, and he does get a Super Bowl ring. That's just my hypothesis on the situation. And then Jim Harbaugh gets booted out, and Kaepernick and the team diminishes around him. The guy still threw 19 touchdowns and 4 picks last year? Mm-hmm. That's on a terrible, terrible, terrible team. Mm-hmm. You mean to tell me that there's no one in the league that could use that guy? And here's the thing where I distinguish it, because a lot of people will say, well, it's the Tebow effect. Tim Tebow was a distraction. No one hired him. No one wanted to hire him because he was a shitty quarterback, and he was a distraction because his legions of followers all thought he should have been a starter.
Exactly.
He doesn't have that legion of followers. He just has support from fans that say, hey, the dude deserves a job. He doesn't deserve to be a starter. He's got to earn that, and everyone knows that. Mm-hmm. No one's saying, hey, he should go in and take over for Aaron Rodgers, or he should take over for Russell Wilson, or Tom Brady, or anybody like that. They're just saying, give the guy a job.
He could certainly take over for Josh McCown.
Right, Josh McCown.
Or he could back up Jameis Winston.
He could have taken Austin Davis's job.
Exactly.
Austin Davis doesn't deserve a job.
Exactly.
The Vikings, last time I checked, Bridgewater ain't going to be ready. So you're going to have
for another year,
Sam Broken Bradford. Mm-hmm. And what was their backup? He was some old shit.
Sean Hill?
I think it was Sean Hill, maybe. So he's garbage. So you could have put him there. The Jets could use a quarterback.
I automatically ruled the Jets out just because of the Woody Johnson tie.
Yeah, the Woody Johnson tie. Yeah,
and of course you have to figure. And Donald Trump said openly, it's kind of me.
Does anybody know who San Diego's backup is? I only know Phillip Rivers is there. San Diego, the Rams.
It's not still Doug Flutie.
The Rams couldn't use somebody to back up Jared Goff.
Probably unseat Jared Goff.
Yeah, exactly.
The Jaguars.
Denver couldn't use them. Jacksonville couldn't use them. Houston's got a lot of quarterbacks right now.
They have Watson there.
They grabbed Watson, and they already had Savage and T.J. Yates still, or T.J. Yates move on to. I don't know, but they have 3 quarterbacks.
The bottom line is there is
opportunities, and he should have been given one. Absolutely. I think it's a load of crap. There is not a team in the league, if you go into the locker room, that would say we don't want this guy because he's a distraction. It's the ownership saying that's going to be a distraction.
In fact,
and what
so
they're
much
saying
so
by distraction means it's going to cost us money.
Seattle, the team that most recently brought him in, that was supposed to be for a workout that turned out not to be a workout, has multiple people on that team saying, I don't know why he's not here.
Right. There's people that actually want him to come in and challenge Wilson for the job.
Right.
Because there's guys that don't think Wilson's that great of a quarterback right now, and they don't trust him. So, honestly, I mean, there's plenty of places he could be playing right now. He could be back up. And it's unfortunate that Andy Reid went out and drafted, what's his face? Drafted that kid from Texas A&M. His name's slipping my mind because all I can think of is Johnny Manziel from there. But I think he's like Manziel 2.0 or something.
Yeah.
But he's got Alex Smith
Patrick
there.
Mahomes.
Yeah, they got Mahomes and they've got Alex Smith. So Andy Reid can't take on that guy. But I think an Andy Reid would be the kind of guy that would take him down. I'm surprised Pittsburgh hasn't taken a flyer on him.
I'm surprised too.
Big Ben is going to be stepping aside. I mean, he almost did this year. He may next year. You going to go with what? Tom Landry?
He's been a Landry.
It's not Tom Landry.
No,
Landry.
Tom Landry was
Tom Landry, the coach
of the Cowboys.
Well,
Landry
I mean, he might
Jones.
as well. Landry Jones, yeah. I used that to make fun of him because I think he throws like Tom Landry does. Tom Landry's ghost.
I mean, it's
horseshit.
It really is. I'm trying to not.
You give rapists, wife beaters, girlfriend beaters, script club start fighters, police officer tusslers.
Is that what it is? Dog killers?
Dog killer, yeah. I mean, all those people get a second chance, but the guy who knelt because he wanted to start a conversation about racial injustice in this country is the guy that has to, be kicked out of the fan club.
It's
sorry.
You know what?
You're just too much of a distraction.
I didn't like Colin Kaepernick.
Even though he said, I'm not going to kneel this season.
Right. He said that. He said flat out, I'm not going to kneel this season. And it's always,
he says
he's saying that now because he's
the
not
conversation.
No, he got the conversation started. It was picked up in multiple leagues.
Right.
Case in point, look at the ESPYs with LeBron and all those guys.
What about the women's NBA teams?
I mean, who watches that?
Yeah, but I'm just saying
maybe Sims.
They got on the Sports Center because of that. A lot of people took notice, and a lot of people are doing something about it, and it's because of a conversation that he started.
Right,
and he not only started a conversation, but he backed up his talk with it. He said this is what he wants to see happen. He's starting to do it by example. And other people are following suit.
I posted a status on it a couple of days ago, and it got a lot of attention from friends of mine that go on the other side of the fence than I do.
Yeah, they would jerk off with the right.
And I had to spit some facts to them about it. About what has happened, and again, I'm not saying that at first I didn't look kind of cross-eyed and looked at it like, what the hell is he doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people did.
I get why he did it. To me, the American flag means more than
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, but it's a stupid fucking song.
It's not like I'm going to. As much as I said, if Donald Trump wins the election, I'm going to kneel. Well, I'm not going to kneel because I look at the flag. I think of the people that fought for this country and those that sacrificed, that is my respect.
Our national anthem is about fighting.
Well, yes,
it is about war. It is about battling. I guess it's what we do.
Yes, but I choose to stand out of respect for those people. He chose to kneel.
Right.
And that is within his First Amendment right to do. And and I know enough soldiers and enough people that have served that have said, hey, I fought for that right. Do I agree with it?
It's a polarizing issue because a lot of people on that side, also the soldiers, didn't like it. So, no one's going to come to a consensus. This is America. There's nothing that we can all come to a consensus on.
Right.
Except for the fact that, The Bachelor is stupid.
Yeah.
I think everyone in the world can agree. In America, at least.
No, ESPN doesn't because they had a Bachelor Fantasy League last year.
Yeah, but, ESPN doesn't count. I mean, they just laid off a whole bunch of people. I don't think that Bachelor League
including John Clayton.
Yeah, that was terrible.
I'm like, what?
He took it like a pro, though. He said he was keeping the ponytail.
Perfect.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it's a polarizing issue, but it's a good issue to have because it did spawn a conversation.
It does. It spurns conversation, and that's,
I mean, look
and that's
back
great.
to the Olympic Games when Jesse Owens stood up on the podium. Was it Jesse Owens?
Yes, and raised the hand.
And raised the hand. Mm-hmm. You know, that was him symbolizing and getting a conversation to start. Sometimes you have to use that platform to do something with it.
Yeah,
not
and he did, and it just like I said, and like you said,
Muhammad
it's
Ali.
irritating. It's
Hello.
irritating. Yeah,
guy's the greatest of all time in pretty much undisputable fashion. That he's the greatest of all time. He is somebody also that took a stand with it as well and took a lot of heat and a lot of shit for it. But when you have that platform and you don't speak out, I think you're doing more of a disservice than somebody who is speaking out and you don't agree with them.
I agree, and you know, like I said, it's sad that he's not going to get that opportunity, and you know, maybe he takes over for Vince Young in Saskatchewan. For
maybe
a
there'll
bit,
be an Ebola breakout for all the second string quarterbacks this year.
Maybe who knows?
Vince Young ain't doing anything; he's already injured.
I know, that's the thing. He'd
done
take
for the
over
year.
for Vince Young.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Dream over for him, but
I don't think he's going to go to the CFL. He's going to go to play in a country that doesn't have to worry about the issues that we're facing.
Well,
he's going to stay here and do the work.
Yeah, he can stay here and he can still do the work while playing there.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
I guess so.
Something. I'm moving on to something a little less irritating. I think. Never change Marshawn Lynch. Never, ever, ever change.
Please don't.
I am making a vow right now. I am buying an Oakland Raiders 24 Lynch jersey this year.
Chinese's?
Most likely.
And when you find out, man, get me in on that, because I'm not going to get his, but I got to get something else.
Absolutely.
My last Chinese's is now playing in Seattle.
Yeah, my last Chinese's just got cut. Get to that in a minute.
Eric Decker.
Marshawn Lynch returned.
Hot wife.
And while it was just practice, honestly, did you see that practice video with him running? Looked like he didn't miss a beat.
No.
At least. He seems a little
face.
He's a little more media friendly, I think.
Yeah.
As evident by his cursing on NFL Network. At the very least, I would think NFL Network now has to do a 7-second delay for some of these things.
Yeah, they probably should do that.
But on a serious note here, does the addition of Marshawn Lynch make the Raiders an official number 2 challenger?
Oh, absolutely.
To the New England Patriots.
Absolutely. They'll get a healthy David Carr back. You know, they got hosed last year with David Carr breaking his leg. I mean, that is one of those bad things that just happened. And it put a fork in their season. I mean, they were not going to go anywhere without David Carr.
No.
So, you know, Carr's going to be back. The defense is going to be a year stronger and better. You know, they're going to add Marshawn Lynch to the package.
This bothers me here now that I'm thinking about it with the Raiders.
Yeah.
EJ freaking Manuel is their backup quarterback.
Right. There's another one. Yeah. Guy can't complete more than a 3-yard out.
If David Carr injures himself in the same
go with
exact
EJ
situation, you're gonna rely on EJ freaking Manuel to challenge him. Get Colin Kaepernick.
He's just gonna have to hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch a lot.
Get Colin Kaepernick there,
and then
for
throw
Christ's sakes.
3-yard checkdowns to Amari Cooper.
Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. Either David Carr...
Here's the play. If Marshawn is taking a breath, Amari, I need you to run 3 yards and then cut to the middle. And I'm going to throw the ball to you. 3 yards? Well, I can run a lot faster than 3 yards. I don't even get done with my move after 3 yards. Just do it 3 yards. That's all I can throw. Accurately. He can throw it 60 yards.
Go long.
Yeah. Bring a laundry basket or a fishing net. Because you might be reaching for a while to get that ball. Yeah, it's terrible. But anyways, yeah, Raiders.
Back
I think they can be...
I do too. A
challenge for New England.
And you know what? They're going to be who I'm watching in the AFC this year.
Yeah.
Because the Jets...
It'd be nice, though, because you can watch all those 4 o'clock games, because usually they ain't shit on at 4 o'clock anyways, and the Raiders are usually on. So
I can watch those 4 o'clock games, and you know what? I won't be interrupted with bowling, because I'm not going back to that league.
Yeah!
Nobody is.
You got to come here on Sundays, man.
There's only like 2 teams that return to that league, but whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll tell you a story off air.
But anyways, yeah, come here Sundays.
Fair enough. The Jets released David Harris and Eric Decker. You know, now that I think about it, if I do come over there on Sundays, we could probably do like a a podcast,
Yeah.
opposite the normal one, but we could do one within. I don't know.
Do
Just
like
about
a
random
do a
thing.
quick pick.
The Jets release David Harris and Eric Decker. This, in addition to the cutting of Darrelle Revis, Nick Mangold, Brandon Marshall, among others, represents Brandon $67.9 million in payroll.
Yep.
Todd
Todd Bowles is gonna be taking another trip to the hospital if he's trying to win at least.
Yes.
If he's not trying, he just says, his playbook says "fuck it." Then he'll be fine. He'll
guessing that's
he'll probably
gotta
be
be
the healthiest he's been all year.
That's got to be what the playbook is. It takes them from one of the highest payrolls in the league to one of the lowest, and one of the youngest teams in the NFL with
Time to
only 4
rebuild.
players older than 30.
It's probably the right time. I mean, it was probably the right time when Rex was gone to get rid of Rex's team. They kept Rex's team and asked Todd Bowles to take it, and we see how it happened.
Exactly.
And it didn't happen.
Exactly.
So
the cuts result in $11.3 million in dead money this year, but only $2.9 million in dead money next year,
solid.
which would leave them at or around the $66 million mark in cap space
All right.
for the 2018 season. Obviously, it's a rebuild, but Bill Polian appeared on Mike and Mike earlier today and said that he believes that the 2016 Cleveland Browns might have started a trend, and that the 2017 New York Jets are now going to follow that trend.
Yeah.
But
for what? I don't know.
That's the thing.
Like
That's the thing I'm not understanding.
Yeah.
Is what is it for? Like, who is the shining star next? I don't know enough about next year's draft. I know there's some kid in USC that apparently everybody's
the
looking
QB
at.
at UFC. But I mean, what if he just had a flash in the pan year?
Exactly.
I don't know. Like, there's no can't miss prospect that I've heard of that's going to be coming out this year.
And early OTAs indicate Josh McCown is light years better than both Bryce Petty and Christian Hackenberg.
Oh, goodness.
Which it's like, I don't know. Like, if you're a Jets fan, living in that area with the ability to go to Jets games, why the fuck would you want to go to one of those games when this is what they're putting out? Like, they're openly saying, we're not even trying this year. Which I get, you got to rebuild and everything, but why would fans want to come and support that? I guess I don't know. I don't understand the logic with that, but
yeah, I don't know, man. I
still think the Bears will be worse, but
not
by a whole lot.
I don't think they're going to be the worst.
Not by a whole lot.
To be honest, I mean,
he likes to kiss titties.
He does. I mean, Sam Darnold is the guy from USC.
Sam Darnold?
Yeah, and then there's Josh Allen from Wyoming, who's supposed to be pretty good. Saquon Barkley from Penn State, the running back, is pretty good, but I don't think the Jets are going to get him. I don't know, man. But really, none of those guys. Maybe Darnold is the guy. But maybe he's not. Maybe he regresses this year. Who knows?
I have no idea. I have no clue. Moving on, the Baltimore Ravens released Dennis Pitta.
Yeah, well, that's expected. Guys had major injuries.
Bob Stoops, the head coach of the Oklahoma Boomer Sooners, has retired.
Boomer!
Has retired effective immediately.
Okay.
The folks are saying that,
I guess.
Yeah, folks are saying that he is already being linked to Chicago because he owns two housing properties in Chicago. And if John Fox struggles, of course, the NFL coaching carousel will start to look to Bob Stoops for one reason or another. I'm not sure, but that's the NFL news that I have for now. And we're going to go to commercial break. So enjoy these words of wisdom from the guy that filmed these recorded these commercials, which is me. Stick around, we'll be back. Father's Day is Sunday, June 18th, and if you haven't purchased a gift yet, head on over to our Amazon store at shopgear.com and find that perfect gift for your father, stepfather, or father figure in your life. Everything from lawnmowers, tools, grilling supplies, and more can be purchased and delivered right to his door, gift wrapped with a card, and everything, the whole nine. It's awesome. And if your dad is an electronic junkie like me, we have Amazon Fire tablets starting at just $49.99, and for a limited time, buy any 3 all-new Fire tablets, and Amazon's going to knock off an additional 20% from your order. We also have gift cards in any denomination, too, if Dad wants to pick out his own gift. What's more, by using our shopgear.com link to go to Amazon and make your purchases, you help support this program at no additional cost to you. That's right, no gimmicks, my babies. Just use our link and shop Amazon. Have it delivered in 2 days or less with Prime. Make Dad happy and support a small business all at once. Win-win-win for everybody. As always, thank you for bookmarking, saving, and sharing our Amazon link at shopgear.com. IndyCard Media is your one-stop shop for quality designs at a quality price. They offer merchandising, company branding, event posters, custom clothing designs, and so much more. Check out their gallery of past designs by visiting facebook.com/IndyCard Media and tell them what you think. That's IndyCard Media, 337-446-4331 or IndyCardMafia@gmail.com. Tell them that we sent you. Again, 337-446-4331. IndyCard Media. Bring your designs to life.
With the Birkin bags and the big house, the Mercedes Benz with the tits out. When they hit this jam, they turn the lights out. Yeah, they know what's up.
Well, the girls with the book in the club with the reading glasses on.
Oh, here we go.
Old Chance the Rapper, man.
Chance the Rapper.
Just went and saw him on Wednesday last week.
Yes, do tell.
Oh, it was a great show, man.
Well, tell in a minute. Welcome back to the Not Just Football Talk Weekly Podcast, everybody. The first segment went a little longer than planned, so it's going to be a semi-truncated second segment here because, gotta be honest with you, we're recording this late, and I am fucking dog tired.
Yeah, dude, it's almost 11:15 out here in the East.
But Chance the Rapper, as we listen to this right now here, tell us about that show.
It was great. They opened up, kind of a warm-up. They had some hip-hop duo that I could not tell you for the life of me who they were because they just weren't good. But they had this DJ Oreo, who was pretty freaking awesome. He was spitting great tunes, and he, told everyone to follow him on Twitter if you wanted to. He's like, if you don't feel like following me, just tweet at me what you want to hear, and, I'll play what you want to hear. And so the first tweet he got was some woman said, play some Beyonce, bitch. He goes, first of all, I have no problem fucking with Bey, but you're going to call me a bitch? And you think I'm going to play your song? I ain't playing nothing for you. And then he picked my song to go first. I asked for Kendrick Lamar's DNA, and he ripped it right out, and that's where he started the requests, and he just was, mixing it together real nicely. But then Chance came on about 9, a little after 9, and he just started it right up, and he was a lot more theatric than I thought he was going to be. I mean, he had the pyrotechnics, he had the fireworks, the big screen,
likely paid for by his own money.
Yeah, because, for people who don't know who he is, he just won a Grammy this year as the first streaming-only album to win a Grammy. The reason it's streaming-only is because he doesn't have a record label, refuses to sign to a record label. So he, records his own music on his own dime and then releases it for free. You can only stream it. His first two, you can only get on his website to stream, and then on YouTube. 10 Day was his first mixtape, and the second one was Acid Raps. And he has a smaller library of tunes, but he still filled out an hour and a half of tunes, which I have friends who went to the Tool show the night before, and they have a much deeper catalog and put on the same length of show that Chance the Rapper did. But his energy from start to finish, not a lot of BS in between, and covered a couple Kanye tunes because he's, done songs with Kanye before, and Kanye was kind of like, he was Kanye's prodigy, and he's really solid. And
so all right, from there let's talk a little baseball.
Baseball, where the Giants just lost 6-3, and they just suck balls.
Who did they lose to?
Milwaukee. They lose to everybody. It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, man.
What MLB team is there right now?
I was more or less not going to be talking about any current MLB pitcher.
Yes.
As much as I was going to talk about my disdain for a former MLB pitcher. So I alluded to it earlier on in the show with made some Curt Schilling jokes, and I'm just going to put this out there for you. I don't personally know Curt Schilling. I know that I am not a fan of the guy, and I've never ever been a fan of the guy.
He's a bag.
Whether he was on the Arizona Diamondbacks or whether he was at the Bloody Sock on the Red Sox or whatever.
His teammates say the same thing too.
I didn't.
He's a
care.
bag.
Nobody. Not very many people cared about Curt Schilling. When he moved to ESPN, and granted, when he had his scare with cancer, I was like, because I don't wish that on anybody, especially after seeing Brett go through it.
Yeah.
So I don't wish that. In the same, Curt Schilling, former MLB pitcher turned certified nutbag, is what I refer to this guy as, because he's like out there, like way out there with his Breitbart alt-right views. He's a bigot. He's very controversial. I mean, it's ultimately too many of those controversial statements and things that he says was what led to him being fired from the mothership. Well, he goes on the Twitter and he does a lot of tweeting and talking and, quite frankly, bullshitting.
Yeah.
And every now and then these things will come to me. And whether I see him on accident because it's, a mutual person that I'm following, likes something or responds to something, and I just happen to see the conversation. So my friends from the Misguided Music,
caring about what Curt Schilling was saying
right,
today.
Exactly. I don't follow him, but my friends from the Misguided Musing podcast, formerly in the Gear Network, they are now branched on their own. But Bill Castle and Eclectic Taste on Twitter replied to a tweet that Curt Schilling put out, which compared Democrats and Republicans from the 1850s.
Yeah, and it was using a stupid argument
today.
Not to mention
right.
Oh, they voted for Obamacare, but they also voted for slavery.
Yeah.
Like, give me a fucking break,
right,
dude.
Right. So, and his response was more along the lines of, hey, there's a 150-year difference between that and everything. And so I'm like, okay. I don't like Curt Schilling anyways. Let me just go on and just start looking at some of these replies. And these replies range from, wow, you're an idiot, to, oh, so by that theory, the 1968 and the 1986 Mets must have been the same team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I decided to poke a little fun at Mr. Schilling, where he tweeted from @Gehrig, as in Lou Gehrig, Gehrig38, wish our education system
was
was still...
son's name, too, I think.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh. Well, sorry, little Gehrig. But wish our education system was still teaching the truth of this country's history. And he retweets somebody called Dewey Defeats Truman, which has that picture of the aforementioned, then versus now kind of thing. So I decided to tweet him.
Yeah, he does have a son named Garrick.
In rather hilarious fashion, because that's what I do on Twitter. Remember that one time you lost a no-hitter and then a rookie, Clay Buchholz, got one a month later? That was funny. I can't tell you how many times I've sent replies or things like that to Donald Trump or Michelle Bachmann or anybody else, just little funny jabs that my followers can look at and go, haha, it's JC being JC, it's being funny or whatever. Well, apparently that struck a nerve with old Mr. Curt Schilling.
Yeah.
Because no sooner do I screenshot that and send it to you and say, haha, look what I did, do I get a response from Curt Schilling himself saying, oh, it was. What was the latest you ever took a ... Oh, wait. Meaning, what was the latest you ever took a no-hitter into?
Yeah. I'll tell him I had a no-hitter when I was in Little League, and it was a legit no-hitter. I pitched a complete game with a strained ribcage muscle, so all I threw was junk. So suck on that, Kurt.
So I decide to, and this is, mind you, before I see your tweets, or not your tweets, your responses to me about...
Yeah. I didn't even see yours because I thought what was happening is that you screen capped him saying that, and it was just showing your in response. I didn't see you actually already responded, so I didn't even bother reading it until like I scrolled up and I was like, oh wait, he already did respond with what I said he should respond with. That's great.
So I responded to him saying I was hoping to throw the no-hitter in that video game you never released, but we won't go there. See you on ESPN, ... Oh, wait, ... I have had nothing but consistent likes from that. People replying saying LOL and savage and, all sorts of different things. It's very, very funny. And the fact that, here's Kurt Schilling, this guy who, infamous with the bloody sock, he pitched with the bloody sock for the Red Sox and pitched against the Yankees and helped break the curse and all that type of stuff. Red Sox Nation does not like him.
Right. They're not aching to invite him back to anything anytime soon.
Right. And the funniest thing I think about this is, of the people that like it, and I'm looking at some of their profiles, and of course a lot of them are all leftists. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them
trolling
a lot of them are from the Boston area.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
amazing.
That's what's amazing to me is that he really thinks like he's going to run based on the fact that there's Red Sox fans in there. But honestly, like, the state of Massachusetts is not going to pick a loudmouth, asshole conservative. Doesn't matter what he did. They're like, hey, thank you for your service to us and helping us win a World Series for the first time in forever. But we're not going to vote for you. Like, did you actually think that was what was going to happen? Like, all of Red Sox Nation was going to rally for you?
Yeah, no.
Red Sox Nation is large, but Massachusetts is even larger, and that guy ain't got a shot.
Yeah.
You can call her Pocahontas all he wants, but he's not going to beat her.
I think I keep thinking about the Buchholz no-hitter.
Yeah.
Which a month after the Schilling losing his. And I can distinctly remember Josh Beckett at the very end where, you saw the camera and everybody's, high-fiving him and Schilling lost it with 1 out in the 9th.
Yeah.
He gets it, Buchholz gets it, and you hear Josh Beckett in all his Josh Beckettness say...
He was a classic, by the way.
They say, that was 2 more than Schilling. right on camera. And Schilling was obviously nowhere near there, but that ended up, I think, being his last season anyways in the Red Sox in 2007. So anyways, Kurt Schilling, I just want to say to you, thank you for entertaining me today and giving me a nice little story to tell in my second segment of the podcast. And I saw your profile where you preach about, having a podcast yourself or whatever on Breitbart, and that you invite... How did you write it? You invite liberals to call into your show and debate and get schooled or something like that. Or whatever. Something stupid like that. I may just take you up on that, Mr. Schilling. You're more
All
than
he's going to do is shout at you and act like an ass clown. You ever listen to these shows?
No, I don't.
They don't school anybody or stop anybody in their tracks. They just yell louder than the person that's there, and they just give up after a while. Because, I'm not going to talk to an orangutan who's flinging poo at me for all this time. It's like arguing with a wall. Shit just doesn't get through, and they just keep going and going, and they get louder and stupider and more insulting, and you're just I'm fucking done with this, man. I got better things to do.
I didn't even know this guy even had a podcast or anything. Yeah. I didn't know what this guy was doing, and he was an afterthought until I saw an Eclectic Tastes response to it, and then it reminded me that I didn't like the guy. And, hey, I might as well get in where I could fit in. I just didn't expect him to reply so quickly. Or
I've only had one famous person actually engage in a conversation with me, and it was Alyssa Milano, and we were talking about the Giants and Dodgers playing a game, and the Giants ended up taking a lead on them on a late home run by Cody Ross. and I talked a little junk, and she gave me a little, angry emojis and stuff, and we were shooting the shit back and forth about the game. But that's the only interaction I've had with anybody on Twitter, other than the fact that Taysom Day, freaking Chocolate Rain, followed me out of nowhere. I was like, yeah.
I got, you know what?
And I'm that's legit. And I've had Obama follow me, when he was still candidate Obama, and I'm still followed by him, and I'm one of only 17,000 that he actually follows. Yeah. And with the millions that he has, I still think that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Especially since it shows up as Barack Obama in your contacts because it syncs your Twitter and your Facebooks. So yeah, I got Obama's phone number.
There you go.
I don't tell anybody it's just his Twitter handle, but it's cool.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean the only.
But you hooked a freaking World Series champion, 2-time World Series champion. Probably a Hall of Fame pitcher. You hooked him. He sunk low enough. His followers are that low, his follower count, and his interest is diminished that much that the JC Money, who's popular around this kitchen, he took the time to respond to you and try to knock you down below his level, even though you technically should be below his level because you never pitched in the major leagues.
So Kurt Schilling's Twitter profile says, whatever it takes, 9 to 11 a.m., Monday through Friday, Breitbart.com.
Oh, God.
Liberals welcome to argue in reality.
Yeah.
That's his profile. Mine says, podcaster for Gear Network, actor, wrestler, member of the Resistance, and lovable jerk. And
he's like, oh yeah,
let me tell you. You think you're so special, but you're not. Oh, bitch. Whatever. That's it. I got nothing. It's late, and that's the end of the podcast for this week or these next 2 weeks.
Quick update: Cleveland's up 7 with 40 seconds left in the third.
Yeah.
LeBron James taking him to school. He's got 32 points already.
Warriors, come on, let's blow this 2-1 lead.
2-0 lead?
2-0 lead, whatever. I hate the Warriors. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the Not Just Football Talk Weekly podcast for this week. We will be back when we do, whether it's most very likely after the Stanley Cup Finals, because that's been a real drag on you, Brandon.
Yeah, man. It's all I do. My girlfriend hates me because of it.
You and your beard.
It's cool.
But I invite you to listen to the JC Money Show on tomorrow.
Look at old-ass Richard Jefferson diving all over the floor.
Is he diving?
Oh, yeah, man.
That dude is old. Still younger than Schilling. But thanks for tuning in. ShopGear.com is your friend. Remember that. Brandon, good day to you.
Good day to you as well, sir.
So long, everybody. Enjoy this wonderful outtake.
The part you threw in there, it totally fits like it could be actually what happened in there.
Oh,
that's one of the few times that your farts sound effect has actually worked for me. Oh, that's perfect.
This might very well be an outtake. We are recording.
Oh, this is perfect that you're recording.
I guess I never made it this song. I never made it this far.
It's okay.
Alright, I gotta stop. Why can't I stop this? Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.